Gideon and the God of impossible odds. The land was once rich with promise, but now it groaned under the weight of fear. For 7 long years, the Israelites trembled beneath the hand of Midian. They didn't just lose battles, they lost hope. Every harvest was stolen, every field trampled. Their enemies came like swarms of locusts, countless, cruel, and consuming. God's chosen people cried out in their misery, not because they deserved deliverance, but because they needed mercy. And mercy, God would give. Somewhere in the hills of Oprah, a man named Gideon threshed wheat in secret, hiding in a winepress. Yes, a winepress. The place for crushing grapes had become a shelter for crushing grain. Why? Because fear had become his daily bread. Then, suddenly, a messenger of the Lord appeared beneath a terebinth tree. Not with a sword, not with a threat, but with words that pierced like lightning. "The Lord is with you, O mighty man of valor." Mighty man. Gideon looked around. Was this a joke? He was the youngest in his family, from the weakest clan in Manasseh. And yet, the Lord had spoken. God doesn't choose the strong. He makes the chosen strong. Gideon wasn't quick to believe. He asked for signs. He needed reassurance. A meal miraculously consumed by fire. A fleece wet with dew, then dry again. And still, the Lord was patient. Because God wasn't looking for perfection, he was drawing out faith. At last, Gideon gathered an army, 32,000 men. But God said, "Too many." Too many? Yes, because victory would not come through numbers. It would come through the name of the Lord. First, those afraid were sent home. 22,000 walked away. 10,000 remained. Still, God whispered, "Too many." So he led them to water. Those who knelt and drank with cupped hands were chosen. Only 300 remained. 300, against an army too vast to count. God had stripped away every human crutch, every earthly strength, until only faith remained. In the dead of night, Gideon crept into the valley. He heard a dream, a Midianite speaking of bread rolling into their camp and destroying tents. A loaf of barley bread, like the bread of the poor, symbolized Gideon. The dream shook the enemy. Gideon returned, bowed in worship, and rose in courage. Torches were hidden inside clay jars. Trumpets were clutched in every hand. And at the appointed time, a sword for the Lord and for Gideon. Jars smashed, lights flared, horns blared. The Midianites turned on each other in terror. God brought victory through light in jars and faith in hearts. Not a sword was drawn by Gideon's men, and yet the battle was won. The credit didn't go to Israel or to Gideon, but to the Lord. Because God is not limited by numbers, credentials, or strength. He is glorified when the weak depend on him. And the victory of Gideon points us forward to another unlikely deliverer. Just as God chose Gideon from obscurity, he sent his own son, born in a manger, from a town no one admired. Jesus, too, crushed the enemy with what seemed like weakness, the cross. But there, he won the ultimate victory. Over sin, over death, over Satan. Gideon delivered Israel for a generation. Jesus delivers us for eternity. From Genesis to Revelation, every story, even the one about 300 men with trumpets and jars, points to Christ. So, what about you? Are you hiding in your own winepress today, afraid, unqualified, uncertain? Hear the word of the Lord. The Lord is with you, O mighty warrior. Not because of who you are, but because of who he is. Trust in him. The God of Gideon is still writing stories of impossible victory. And in Christ, you're already part of one.